What's happening, everyone? Well, in this episode, we're gonna take the hatch lid from my 1964 Mariner Thunder Road and actually make this fiberglass mold. And we're gonna use this mold to make a brand new hatch for my 1963 Mariner, the number 11. It's all right here on SV Thunder Road. All right, y'all, well, I guess there's nothing else left to do except to show y'all how we're gonna take this hatch and make this fiberglass mold. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and dive right into this one. All right, what's going on, y'all? So what I've done now is I've got all the cracks and crevices taped up with some painter's tape. And any of the bevels and curves, I've got those taped up with painter's tape. And then I went around the edge with some caulk sealant, sealed down the edge. So we're letting that dry for an hour or so. And we're about to spray some of this mold release. And what this stuff does, whenever we get the gel coat down and the epoxy and start fiberglassing everything, whenever that all hardens and cures, this stuff will allow us to be able to pry it off. And it won't allow the gel coat or the epoxy to stick to this hatch. We're just gonna lay down a light coat of this stuff and let this dry for about an hour or two. And then we'll come back and start applying our gel coat. All right, y'all. I was just kind of cleaning out the gel coat from this measuring cup here to get it ready for the epoxy. And check this out. This is straight gel coat right here that set on the bottom overnight. That stuff is hard, man. Pretty cool. That's just all gel coat right there. All right, y'all, well, I think we're about ready to go with starting the first few layers of fiberglass on this mold here. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and just do the whole mold out of this 492 stuff. And then when I actually start to fiberglass the hatch together, I'll throw in some of this 1073. This stuff's a lot stronger. But we'll do like a mix of these two on the actual hatch. Just for the mold, we're just gonna stick with this 492. I think it's 492C. And we're just going with the Total Boat epoxy resin and the slow hardener. And we've got our tool to roll out the air bubbles. And then over here, this will be our prepping station. This is where we'll soak all of our strips of fiberglass. And then we'll move it over here and start to lay it down. And so we've got our gloves, got a couple brushes. I just got a trash bag on top of a piece of cardboard. And I'm using my table saw. Use what you got, folks. Use what you got. All right, let's dive into this. All right, y'all, we got our first layer of sheets ready. We have them labeled. We've got a paint roller that's gonna help us roll the epoxy on. And then we'll move over here to the hatch and start laying everything down. And we're using the Total Boat epoxy and the slow hardener. I think the main key to this is just making sure that you have your steps in order, just kind of mentally running through the process. Once you start adding the hardener and mixing the epoxy, you're on the clock, so you gotta get going. This will give me a working time of about 20 minutes here. It's a little cool out, so maybe more like 25, 30 minutes of working time. Try to knock this out in 20 though. Laying down this first layer of glass was actually really tricky. These corners are giving me some problems, but I think as it's slowly curing and hardening, I'm able to kind of get some of these air bubbles out and get some good contact. I've just been working this for probably about 15-20 minutes so far, just trying to get all these little air pockets out, make sure we have good contact. It gets a little easier as it starts to kind of harden up a bit. All right, y'all. First layer of fiberglass is done. It took me a little bit longer than what I thought it was gonna take to kind of get this all down. These right angles and these corners are the trickiest spots, but I think we got them. All right, so we're gonna let this sit and cure for a while, and we'll get our second layer prepped. It is starting to harden up quite a bit. It's still a little tacky, but that's good. We want it to be a little tacky when we get the second layer on, so let's go ahead and get that going. This is looking pretty good. Second layer is done. I think we're gonna call it with just 2 layers. I think that's gonna be fine for mold purposes. The actual hatch will probably be about 4 to 6 layers. But I'm still just kind of touching it up here and there, getting some of the bubbles out. I've got a little bit of epoxy left. Still using my air roller tool here. And yeah, just trying to get it best contact as we can. Especially on these corners. These corners are tricky. All right, y'all. We'll touch base when this dries up. Let's go ahead and, it's nice and hard. Let's go ahead and try to peel this off. go. Some of the gel coat stuck to it. That's why it was giving us so much trouble. Oh, we've got our hatch back. We'll just have to kind of sand this gel coat off that got stuck on there. That'll be all right. We have our mold. Dude. You know, this didn't turn out all that bad. We need to go back and fill in these gaps of gel coat here. I may go in and just do some fairing and just fill it in with like some body filler. But yeah, this is gonna work. The corners turned out really good. We're still nice and smooth on the edges. You know, could have been better, but hey, could have been a lot worse too. All right, we got Thunder Road's hatch all cleaned up. Now we just need to put a layer of topside white boat paint on there. And this hatch is back on duty. So now what we're gonna do is clean up our mold here. Let's just go ahead and do that. Got the edges all sanded down, it's all cleaned up. I sanded down some of the inside. What we're gonna do is take some fairing, and I've got the hardener here, and we're gonna fill in all the spots with the gel coat cracked off. So we'll get, and there's a few like little holes here, but we'll get all those voids filled in. And this should dry within about 20 to 30 minutes, and then we'll sand it down smooth. And I think our mold will be ready to go. So let's go ahead and get that done. Alright, well I quickly discovered that you gotta be fast with this stuff, and I think I put too much hardener because this stuff hardened up very, very quickly. So I'm gonna let this dry, and then for about 15, 20 minutes, and then I'll sand this down, clean it up, and then we'll try round 2. Well, we have Thunder Road's hatch free, and I went ahead and gave it a nice coat of paint and cleaned it back up, and I think it's looking good. And we also have the mold for the hatch. I am not very good with the fairing, so I kind of did the best I could. But yeah, I think it turned out really well. It's nice and strong. Got a nice smooth inside here. Alright, so now we just have to repeat the process, but do it in reverse. So now we can make our hatch. Alright, y'all, let's get to it.